Hola clase. Today we are going to be covering past participles and the present perfect. These two concepts combine together to create the present perfect, and we are first going to get into what that looks like in English. So I have spoken. She has heard. They have seen. These are all the present perfect, is what we call this, the present perfect. And so we have a past participle, spoken, heard, seen, combined with this verb, I have, she has, they have. Now, in Spanish, the structure is more or less the same, but the verb for have and has is not tener. Absolutely not. So first, we're going to start out with what past participles are and how do we form those in Spanish. So in Spanish, when we want to take a past participle, for example, sentar, to sit, and I want to turn that into sat or seated, then all I need to do is drop the AR ending and replace it with ado. So the AR changes to ado. ER changes to ido, and IR changes to ido as well. So sentado came from sentar, and we replace it with ado. Changing comer to the past participle, comer. We drop the ER ending and replace it with ido, comido, eaten. An IR verb, vivir, becomes vivido, lived. So these are the past participles. And it's really that simple. You just take that ending and replace it with ado or ido. There are irregulars that don't follow this pattern, but by and large, this is the structure that we are going to be using. Those three there. So that's how we form past participles. We'll get into the irregulars here in a bit. Now, for the present perfect, we're going to combine past participles with the verb haber. Haber, you have seen before. In the present tense, we use I, and we don't conjugate it. There's no yo form of this. It's just I. In the present perfect, however, we are going to conjugate it. So in the yo form, we're going to have e, has, a, hemos, and han. So that is how we're going to conjugate haber. Haber. So haber, I don't even know how to define that infinitive on its own in Spanish, but would be I have, like I have done something. Again, we're not using tener. Do not use tener ever for this. Tener is to have something like in your hand. Haber is to have done something in the past. So we can now combine the two things that we have learned so far, past participles and the conjugation of haber, to make sentences. So sentado, sentar is to sit. So if I say he sentado en chicle, that means I have sat on gum. He sentado en chicle, and we'd probably make that reflexive. Me he sentado en chicle. He sentado en chicle. This being reflexive is actually helpful to us because now we know that the reflexive pronoun, direct object pronoun, indirect object pronoun is going to come before the conjugated verb, which is has, a, hemos, or han for these sentences. So me he sentado en chicle. I have sat on gum. All right. Another sentence. Let's try going from English to Spanish here. They have heard the song. They have heard the song. So first I need they have. Now this is not tienen. We can't use tener. That is complete nonsense. It doesn't make any sense at all to say tiene. Instead, we're going to use haber, to have done something. That's haber. So, which one of these is plural and third person? Han. You guys are in Spanish too. You should know how to conjugate. We should be good there. Han heard. To hear, escuchar. Drop the AR ending, replace it with ado. Han escuchado la canción. What in the world just happened? There we go. Han escuchado la canción. They have heard the song. And it's really that simple. That's all there is to it. If you guys have any questions, please email me and I can answer those. Also, be sure you check out the past participles page on studyspanish.com, because this is where it's going to tell you what the irregulars are. So here it tells us the pattern that I just explained, but then there's a few irregulars as well. So we wouldn't say he abrido la puerta. That's not how it works. It's an irregular. He abierto la puerta. I have opened the door. Han dicho la respuesta. They have said the answer. Todavía no hemos muerto. We still haven't died. No hemos muerto. So you're going to use these structures to do the conversion that we have coming up on Wednesday, as well as for the quiz that we have on Friday. The conversion on Wednesday is going to be asking you, what have you done in the past 3 weeks? ¿Qué has hecho en las últimas 3 semanas? ¿Qué has hecho? And so to respond to that, we're just going to use these, obviously responding in the yo form. He sentado en chicle. I have sat on gum in the past 3 weeks. So whatever it is that you've done, you can go ahead and start making some sentences, writing those down, getting some practice with this. And like I said, we're going to have a conversion over this on Wednesday, and then on Friday we will have a quiz. Gracias.